everyone, it's Danrie from Craft of Giving, and in today's video I would really like to share this Game of Thrones Polymer Clay Night King pendant for a necklace. So to make this you'll need some polymer clay. Now the color doesn't matter as we will be painting this at the end. So to start with you'll need to roll your clay into a smooth ball and then start sort of shaping the face. So having a nice sort of forehead and then coming in a little bit to the side of the eyes and then down towards the chin. Mark a cross on the flat part of the clay, so this will be a indicator of where your eyes and your middle of the face should be. Here I'm adding more shape to the face by bringing in the cheeks towards the jawline and then onto the chin. Now I'm starting my little Night King's face by adding his eyebrows first. Now this guy's got some serious eyebrows going on, so I'm adding a snake of clay to just really shape the eyebrows. I recommend having a picture of his face handy, whether you print it off or have it on a screen nearby, just so you have a reference point to go to and sort of copy his details of his face. The eyebrows don't need to be perfect as we will be going over this constantly to ensure that the lines are great and everything looks good. Here I'm starting to attach the horns that go from his eyebrows towards his forehead and just smoothing out any of the attachment points, but you need to keep a sort of definite line still visible so that you can see that there are horns. Then using your polymer clay tool or any sort of sharp tool, a little knife or whatever, or a toothpick even, start to create the crease lines between his eyebrows and his forehead. Then I added a teardrop shaped ball of clay and started forming his nose. Now this guy's got a bit of a fat nose. It sort of starts out narrow and then goes quite flat and fat down towards his face, towards where his lips should be. So just play around with his nose and then add some more crease lines from where he looks really ferocious, like Arr. He's such a badass, this guy, but I really like his eyes. Then add some details by adding some nostrils just by poking 2 holes at the base of the nose. Here I'm just marking where the mouth will be and creating a indent with a flat tool. You can use a screwdriver if you do not have specific polymer clay tools. And I'm adding 2 snakes for his lips, so a narrow one on top and then a fatter one on the bottom lip. Now he looks like he's pouting here, but just ignore that. We'll be adding some more detail to that later. Quickly add a chin and add the dimple in the middle of his chin. And then add some beady eyes. I'm just using a plastic bead for his eyes. We'll be painting over that later. This just creates a nice sort of eyeball and it adds some extra definition without trying to press some clay in there and risk having it sort of flatten when we work with it. Then go ahead and add a piece of clay underneath his eye to create the under eyelid and smooth out the edges. Now if you can, try to keep it a bit bulgy there towards his cheekbone to just add some more shape to his face without flattening it too much, but you want to smooth out any of those crease lines where you added the clay. And of course do that on both sides. Now here I'm just opening up his eye again with my tool. I want to keep that eyeball exposed so that we can paint it but still have him looking quite fierce. Then I'm adding some of the lines to his face with a sharp tool. You can use a toothpick for this and just creating lines going underneath his eye and then down towards his cheeks and then down towards his mouth. You can use your picture as a guide for where the line should be. Add some horns on top of his head in the shape of a crown. This is just rolling out teardrop shaped clay and then just pressing the rounded edge on his head, keeping the pointy edge sticking up. Add some ears and create the shape by just pinching the side of the ear to create that sort of pixie ear look and smoothing out the edges and going over any of the lines that you might have pressed flat. And of course do it for both sides of his head. You want to align the level of the base where the ear starts with the eyes. Add some further detail for his ear and the crease of his ear and then add some more detail on top. Now this is sort of like a scaled look I suppose, and just crisscross and create that detail on top of his head. Then it's time to remove any excess clay to create our pendant. You need to add a flat pin needle from the base towards the skull of the head to attach this later onto a pendant. Go over any small details again and then you're ready to bake. Now bake your polymer clay according to your polymer clay's instruction and allow that to cool completely before you can continue. Then once you're ready, start mixing your paint. So I'm using just some acrylic paint by mixing a little bit of black and 2 shades of blue, and a darker blue, and then adding some white to sort of create a frosty blue-gray color to match his skin color. Once you're happy with the color, start painting your little face all over and get inside all the little grooves and details and allow that to dry. Then go ahead and paint his eyes. Now I did not have the blue that I wanted, so I just used a really light blue nail polish and added a few layers of that after the first layer had dried completely. Then using a grey color, I am just going over the creases again and then going over them with the original blue color again, just to create some definition and bring out those crease lines. Go ahead and add a little pupil by just marking a black dot of paint. And then there you have it. Allow your little face to dry completely, and then you can go ahead and glaze it with your favorite glaze or sealant. And then you'll need to allow that to dry completely before you can turn it into your pendant by trimming the pin and creating a loop and adding your favorite chain. And there you have it, a really cool, fun polymer clay project to create your own Game of Thrones Night King. He may not be everyone's favorite, but he was a fun little thing to make. So I hope you enjoyed. This is going to be the start of a little series I want to do on Game of Thrones related crafts for those who are as enthusiastic about it as I am. I've only recently got into Game of Thrones, and I must have been living under a rock because OMG, this series is amazing and I cannot wait to see what happens next. If you like this video, please give it a big like and comment down below letting me know your favorite Game of Thrones character, and share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel to keep updated with my little Game of Thrones series that I'll be posting, and check out my other DIY handmade gifts and other fun DIY projects. You can do so by clicking on the annotation on your screen or in the links down below. And I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!